Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here. Oh, take my hand. Ah, come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me.
Take it. Take my hand.
Leave the Constitution
The
alone.
peace commissioners appear today, or
State by
worse,
state,
on
you
the
can
morning.
extricate. See what is before you. See the here and now. That's the hardest thing. The only thing that accounts. We're stepped out upon the world stage now. Now! With the fate of human dignity in our hands. Blood's been spilt to afford us this moment. Now! Now!
Rob, don't fall asleep.
I was typing. I didn't know you started.
Hey,
Hang on.
are you holding the fate of human dignity in your hands?
No.
No, he wasn't listening. Now.
Oh,
Which
what
one
was
is
that?
which one is your favorite out of all the CG Now clips?
I hate that one. I hate that one because it's like politics, and it's like, who is it? It's Lincoln, isn't it? It's Lincoln talking about something.
Yes.
And
you know his
I
first
hate the
name?
Abraham.
Okay, all right. I'll just check
Abraham
it.
Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Great movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you
Correct.
watch that movie?
Yeah.
That was
I
a lot
didn't
of
see
fun.
that one. No.
It was a lot of fun. And I hate the other one because it's like Spaceballs, and I haven't seen that. It looks stupid.
And what about the Simpsons one?
Oh yeah, Simpsons, fantastic, love it. Simpsons
Oh,
is
I'm gonna
life.
cheer you up. I'm gonna cheer you
Yeah,
up. One second.
do it.
Individually, we are weak, like a single twig. But as a bundle, we form a mighty
That one's good. It's short
Yeah.
too.
A-
It's acceptable.
And I really love it how it like that little I don't call it like a drum beat comes in, like that boom comes in. That's really
I
solid.
made that. I made
Wow.
that.
You're a talented guy, Mike. I mean,
How are you today, Rob?
confused. So confused, Mike.
It's confusing, isn't it?
It's
It's like the last 2 weeks have been building up. There's been happenings out there in the Twitter land. A guy like Mo Biggs, he doesn't know that all this is happening. And how Mo Biggs, because he's off Twitter.
yeah,
it's
he's a
like
Mo genius, Biggs.
it's like CG's ex-girlfriends, the bitter ex-girlfriends, have been ramping up their acerbic attacks on Comicsgate of late. And hold on a second, my Wi-Fi on it seems to be slowing me down. And yeah, so it's all come to a head with Doug Ernst tonight. But it seems to be. I thought, this is so big. We normally do a draw stream at this time. We'll do a draw stream. But I thought, people are going to be asking about this. They want to be talking about it. This literally just happened. John says, "Are you confused about your sexuality?" Well, luckily, unbelievably, Rob is a happily married man. Yeah, I'm gonna say hello to the chat, and we're gonna draw, and then we're just gonna chat, and we'll see what the hell's going on, because it is weird out there. I don't know what's going on, but look, it's something about comic books. Although I've been assured, no, this is just the internet. This is all internet communities are like this, and
Is it?
though?
Yeah, like I have not seen this many crazy people ever in my entire life. Is it just because we're online in this group and that's what all online groups are? Like there's crazy people in there? Or is it something just totally unique to comics? I don't know. What does the chat
But let's
think?
meet some cool people. We've got Voyager in here,
nice.
Bretsky the Great, Skip with his fantastic insult here. He says, "I'm Yakur, best girlfriend,
Bitter.
ex-girlfriend,
Bitter.
bitter ex-girlfriend," and don't forget it. Even I stuffed up his stuff up. Micra's here, Sumo Thori, not Dojo Thori. Eric Weathers asks, "Why am I awake?" I don't know, Eric. Working hard, hopefully. Gary G's in the house. Who else? J Max. I never know how to pronounce this, but he likes me, so I'll keep saying hello. Collyhan said, "I just came from that EVS stream. I have no idea what this is. Can someone inform me?" I mean, how?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Hopefully we will. I mean, you and I, Rob, we try to keep our noses as clean as we can, at least in public.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of this stuff goes back to before you were even in CG.
Yeah.
So you might have some questions. I might have some answers, but I might not, because up until today, I thought I was on pretty good terms with Doug Ernst. I didn't know that he had this whole thing against Comicsgate, and then I checked, and he unfollowed me. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening.
Let's get into it in a minute.
John's here. Who else? Who else is here? Hold on. Let me scroll down. Dear Man's here. Devilfish, great to see. Hail Mo Biggs. There he is. Maromi says, "Take my strong hand."
Oh.
Aerith, I'm up embroidering hats. Might as well listen. Do you embroider your own hats, Aerith? I didn't know that. That's cool.
How does that work?
Jeremy's in the house. He's blaming Danny, which is a good thing to do. Devilfish asks when. I don't know when. All right, let's get started with the show.
Hang on. Let's highlight this one. Joe Ball, death. 39,221 USD from 490 backers. Let's get it to 40K. Thanks.
You know what I love? Joe is getting some major promotion from big wigs.
Good.
Inside and outside of Comicsgate of late. Did I see you on the Jack show, Joe? Did I see you hanging with Replicator Law? I know Replicator Law just said, "Go back, death." On
I mean, I've been on the Jack show. Have you?
Yeah, I'm just saying, he's getting some good people looking at it, and that piece that you, I don't know, nearly finished. There, that's looking crazy. Who are the ex-girlfriends? Asked Jasper. I'm not a historian like you, Bancroft. The ex-girlfriends, to me, is anyone who was Comicsgate and has since had some kind of bitter falling out with CG. And okay, that's fine. That's cool. That happens. I understand how the internet works. But then what they do is they seem to be spending their whole time on Twitter tweeting about it. And they go into, because I do a lot of pro Comicsgate threads, I believe it or not, on Twitter. And every time I do, most of the time, there they are saying something about this or that or whatever. And it's like, wherever you go, they're there to put in their 2 cents about why it's this and that and everything. I mean, there's all kinds of different people of all different levels of notoriety. But yeah, they're there and they're angry. They're angry at CG and they want to let you know about it. But who has the time for this, Rob?
Mate, I have chronic back pain. I don't talk about it much, but I've had it for 20 years. I don't know how these people have the energy to do this. Like, don't they have jobs, hobbies, family, friends?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can barely muster the energy to argue with them. Every time I do, it doesn't end well, so I usually just ignore them. It's the same old.
Can I share something before we go in? Because like I found something that I've fallen in love with, and you've seen it, but I just want to show the chat anyway.
All right, do it. Bit of good.
This guy's colors.
Little bit of positivity.
Are they not beautiful?
They are very impressive, and the art too.
Oh, it's just like you're looking at this thing and your eyes drawn straight to this blast that's all blurry around his face. But then your eye starts traveling all around and it is beautiful everywhere. Like this greeny background, lots of color holds. And just like this beautiful effect on this gun here.
So is this another person you're trying to advertise to people who aren't you?
Yeah, dude. I love art. I love art. I want all the artists. I want them everywhere.
Have you reached out to this person?
I reached out to him before.
Are they...
He's in Europe, so he might be waking up soon. We'll see.
No, it's very impressive. No, you shared this to me the other day. No, I can't fault it. It's even a little, dare I say, Roquefort-esque in the way. It's not quite the same. Roquefort has more jagged lines, but you know, you're right. There's a spiral theme happening in the composition.
It's amazing.
And yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good. I would be very happy if I could do something like that. I probably couldn't, but maybe after a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
All right. Jasper's asking hard questions here in the chat. How did Kennedy get hooked up with Iconic? This doesn't look good for anyone with their imprint. That remains to be seen. I don't know. I mean, look, at the moment, what we've seen in terms of actual screenshot evidence, all we've seen is Doug Ernst sending videos to the hut to upload.
Supposedly.
Allegedly. Let's say that.
Yeah,
Let's be proper journalists here. Allegedly sending videos to the hut to upload for 3 years. Now, the hut, who is no friend of us, I don't think. I wouldn't call him that. For 3 years. I remember when, the hut went on to Ethan's show like 3 years ago, and it all seemed very buddy. And then all of a sudden, he was anti-CG. And that's always like a thing. Like, you never know what's being whispered into people's ears at the time. And well, now he said it. Well, he said what it was. You know, he said he basically, people saw him and then reached out to him and started dishing goss and rumors. Well, that's why we say alleged, Silver Ogre. That's why we say alleged.
Yeah. But to summarize, based on what I've seen, there's a guy called Comic Book Hut on YouTube who makes hit videos mainly towards Ethan and your boy Zach and the like. And apparently Doug Ernst has been sending him the videos for him to upload for 3 or so years, apparently, is the gist.
Well, the hit piece ones.
Yeah,
he said, I don't have the computer or the wherewithal, like the technical know-how to do these sort of, I've never watched any of these, to do these, he said they were like compilation hit piece things. I mean, if that turns out to be true, that's like the definition of a gay op. That's as Phoenix says, is that even high school, middle school? I mean, why is this happening in comics?
It's just so weird.
I barely have time to even read comics anymore.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
It's just so strange though. Like, I would rather spend my spare time, if I'm not doing comic stuff, hanging out with the family or playing Elden Ring, not starting behind the scenes secret wars with people. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, we had. I remember we had a bit of a medical scare last year during, I don't know, some drama. Maybe it was a couple of years ago. And I remember we were sitting in the hospital, and I was like, "My goodness, how could anyone care when real life comes a knocking about any of this internet stuff?" But people, not only do they care, they seem to spend copious amounts of time invested in fudge.
Yeah. To
bring down their, I mean, we call them enemies, like the people who will oppose us. But at the same time, that's also a little bit of the LARP. But that they really do sort of go on like we are enemies. I got a DM the other day. I woke up to a DM. It was the longest DM I'd ever received from a complete stranger.
Oh
never
yeah.
you know, I think I did one tweet reply at some point, and it was just like, what is happening in your life where you have the time to, I mean, when I say long, you guys are thinking, like I'm not. No, this is long. Multiple scrolls to get to the end of this thing. I'm thinking, I'm not going to read this. I
Yeah.
don't even feel bad that this person wrote this out. Actually, I don't even think that they did write out. I think they had it saved. And this is something that they send to people. I don't understand any of this.
It is so confusing. God, I don't even know where to start reading the comments. I'm so confused. Probably explain to people who Doug Ernst is, Mike, a bit. So he was. Who is he?
Doug
What
Ernst
does he do?
was is handsome idea. It wasn't you, Junk.
It wasn't
you.
It wasn't you. No, I mean,
it wasn't you either, Jasper.
It was like this.
I have been
long.
known to
It
not
was
respond
ridiculous.
to people's emails, DMs. That is true. That was something that Hutt said. He was like, I always respond to people's DMs. I was like, oh, yeah, I probably could be better at that. So Doug Ernst, we're going way back now. I think I've probably first learned about Doug in either 2016 or 2017. I can't quite remember, but he was doing videos. Just, you know, I think like he may have even been one of the people that inspired your boy Zach to start doing videos. We're talking that long ago, and he was a Washington Post, or is a Washington Post journalist. Yeah, Dongs has it right. He's an OG founder of CG. Absolutely there since before CG was even found, like sort of formed as a thing that people talked about. I've only ever had really good interactions with Doug. I bought his book off him. He agreed to send it out to me without even payment and said, just pay it when you receive it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is fantastic customer service. So I didn't really, but I did know that there were people who had issues with Doug. I didn't know why, and I didn't really care to look into it. I'm not really like getting into the middle of people, into the middle of people's affairs. But so yeah, that it was very. So he's done Soul Finder. Eventually, he went to Iconic, and I think he's up to 3 books now. I really liked Soul Finder. I recommended it to someone literally 2 days ago.
So,
and I also
is he
said,
from the mainstream?
No, not at all. I don't know if he'd made a book before Soul Finder.
That's so confusing. So he's the OG founder of CG, doesn't have any mainstream ties. But it was one of the reasons why it started.
A lot of the issues in CG lingering with a lot of who I sort of look at now as a bit of ex-girlfriends of Comicsgate. A lot of them are people who are still very bitter about the pivot from trying to fix the mainstream to let's make our own comics. So I don't know how many people were involved in Comicsgate at the time. There were certainly a lot of people watching the streams, but there were only so many books to back at that. And we're talking even before there were any books to back. But when your boy did launch, he got 10,000 backers. So it was obviously a lot of people. Well hung and done. Clint Stoker is good people. I don't know where this
so weird
rumor
man
is coming.
I don't get it either. He's on the CG team with us every week that he can make it.
Clint's. I've got nothing bad to say against Clint Stoker. He's a legit dude.
Mr. Dong says, "How's Rob? I don't know this a little about CG. I came in late, and I just came in, and I kind of stayed away from the drama most.
No, I totally understand. I totally understand how people don't know their stuff. We're going back over 5 years now, or more. I mean, I don't remember when I first watched a Doug Ernst video or a Captain Cummings video, or but yeah, it was way before there was even a CG book. So, but yeah, this is going back a long way. So yeah, I understand a lot of people aren't going to know that stuff.
Mo wants me to read this. He says, "That's not fair. Rob knows very little about anything, Mr. Donks." It is true.
Yes,
it is true.
Yes. You have to remember that. So you know, Doug and Captain Cummings and Nurkish and your boy Zach were all making videos calling out the mainstream in 2017 ish, I think. And I think out of all of them, your boy Zach, Micah Curtis was there as well, I think. Pretty sure. Out of all of them, your boy Zach was the one that sort of hit it quite big. And, you know, got tons of subscribers and stuff. And that's really the sort of full extent that I have of knowledge of what happened with Doug. Again, like, he always seemed cool to me. I had him on the show. I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. He was cool. He was fine. Look. So if there's people in the chat who know more, maybe you guys do, but to hear this, to see this alleged thing that he's been running these gay ops is pretty shocking.
Jasper says, "I wonder if Pete's Media was sent some BS and now doesn't appear on EVS's channel." I don't think. I think when it comes down to it, a lot of the time, it comes down to who's available at the time Ethan posts a link for the show. You know, a lot of us have, you know, jobs, families, that kind of thing. And there's no real schedule to it. So I wouldn't read too much into who appears or who doesn't appear on Ethan's. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
So confused.
It's it was especially weird to see them going after your boy Zach, because out of all the people that have kept that original sort of let's make our own comics CG thing, your boy Zach would be the guy. You know, he was critiquing and reviewing mainstream books for years after, even when the very few people were watching compared to who used to watch. People just got over it. And but yeah, so going back, the people who I see who were really passionate about how CG is not CG anymore, it doesn't mean anything, it's dead. A lot of them are people who think that Comicsgate was a pre-existing thing that was meant to take on the mainstream, make the mainstream comics see the light, and really sort of be what Fandom Menace is for Star Wars. They wanted it to continue down that path, and instead we went the direction that we went, which I think is the best decision that we made, was that pivot, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this discussion. CG would have just fizzled out into nothingness. Because take a look at what's happening with the Fandom Menace. You know, how well have they done in terms of changing the minds of the people who make Star Wars? They haven't done anything. You can yell into the wind to try and get these corporations to change their mind. It's never going to happen. Instead, we've built this crazy, awesome, almost unprecedented, network of fans and creators and promoters, and all of a sudden people can, people like you and me, Rob, or Eric Weathers just broke 100,000. Back when your boy Zach launched Jawbreakers, the only person who broke 100,000 that I can remember on a crowdfund was Ta-Nehisi Coates, I think. And maybe it wasn't even 100,000. Maybe it was like 90,000. I think it was Ta-Nehisi Coates. It wasn't Eric Weathers.
Fallout Zone G says, "Why I stop watching most people who don't create their own alternatives? You can complain to bring people in, but you have to have go present something else."
Yeah, he's basically saying, look, it can't all be complaints. If you don't offer anyone an alternative,
Yeah.
it's a spiral. It's a downward spiral of trying to rage bait and clickbait, and nothing gets done. And you can't inspire anyone with endless negativity. You have to provide some positive.
Yeah, that's why I only
forward.
try to go negative half the time, Mike, and try and keep the other half positive.
You're a glass in state of stasis kind of guy. I get it.
Just so weird, yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I think CG's been killing it lately. I hit 50K, even though it dropped under again. Eric's hit 100K. You know, like, it's pretty amazing.
It really depends on how you look at it. So, like I said, these tweets that I get occasionally, actually, I've been getting more and more often. It's just like doom and gloom. CG is nothing. It's dead. Everything. It's all It's it's all going down because they'll look at what this did and what it's doing now, and not take anything else into consideration, and definitely not look at guys like, say, Phil Diaz.
Killing it.
Who were killing it in ways they never did before. Look at the success of a guy like Joe Sontag,
Patrick,
and all that sort
Mandy,
of stuff.
List goes on and on. Von killing it. I mean, everyone. It's a thing. They always go, "Oh, CG hasn't made as much money as it did the last year." I'm like, yeah, go take Ethan's campaigns out of every year, and then let's see if it's made more money or not. I think it would be going up, at least in the right direction. Oh, God. Stephen
And this
Rockwood,
isn't just to say CG is doing everything absolutely perfectly. It's very much a work in progress and a learning curve for a lot of people. But yeah, the positivity in terms of what we've done and what we've achieved. It's crazy when you think about going back all the way to the very humble, unknowable beginnings. No one really knew what would happen when Jawbreakers launched. And then no one knew what happened when Bloodhoney would launch. And then there was that big crazy period. No one knew what would happen after that. Would it all just fizzle out and disappear? And continually, like, we just don't know. And but in hindsight, you can look back and say, "Oh, of course that was going to happen." It wasn't. Of course, that was going to happen at the time it was happening. It was, people were very much putting a lot on the line to do what they were doing, and they were rewarded. And that's still actually continuing to this day. People sort of trailblazing in terms of comics. But
it is funny though, Mike. Like, we do get a lot, well, not a lot, but we do get people that tell us, things should be done this way or that way. And, I can only imagine like how many of those kind of things Ethan gets, or, the more popular guys get. Like, you can't have this person on your channel. You can't have that person on your channel. You need to do things this way or that way. It must be absolutely crazy for those guys.
I mean, maybe you've got to learn how to kind of block things out, I think. And you can't listen to everyone all the time. And as well, here's something that is sort of, we're seeing at the moment is, thank you, Mo. Thank you. 100. Can we get 100 likes from 100 viewers? That would be awesome. Likes really do help with the algorithm and everything.
This is a
good
question.
I've lost my train of thought.
From Perth. When should we call a creator out for not delivering? Carlo wrote, is that 6.5 months and no update?
You can call out creators anytime you want.
It's a good question.
That's the answer to that. You can call them out anytime you want. We don't have to be a hug box of positivity. I don't think we want to go on negativity spirals We don't want to think you don't want to think like it's all downhill from here. But yeah, you know, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I was reading chats while I'm trying to talk. And
Phoenix
trying to draw
says you got to be careful who you let in. I don't think you can. Like, you can't not let people in. You've just got to. You just got to, you know, take the punches when some of these people are going to stab you in the back, I guess. I mean, you can't gatekeep people coming into CG, I don't think.
Yeah, it's weirdness. I don't really know. I guess I've never really been this involved in a online community thing. So maybe this is just the norm. This is how people are on the internet. It's just like you got a bunch, most people who are just trying to get along and make the most of it, but there's others who are just spending their time scheming and scamming. I really do think, and I've run into this a fair bit. It's like people have a kind of Machiavellian approach to social interactions. They think that everyone is always scheming, and everything that they say and everything that they do is part of a greater plan that they're plotting. And when they think like that, they project that onto everyone else. So any little thing that someone says, they assume, oh, that's got to mean because of this, and that, and that. And when a lot of times people are just like I'm doing right now, just talking, not really thinking about what I'm saying, trying to get a little bit of drawing done and talk about a subject that is a bit of a hot topic at the moment, not realizing there's no underlying plan behind any of this. We're just, putting on a show, chatting. But you get a lot of that. You get a lot of that projection going on. I've seen that happen so often.
I mean, I asked chat earlier if this happens everywhere on the internet, like in all groups, and they're like, "Yeah, this is normal." I'm like, "This is just craziness to me."
Yeah, schemes and scams. Yeah, John, I don't think about what I'm saying. I just talk, and if I say something stupid or hypocritical or whatever, I just go, I guess. All right, you got me. You got me.
Do you reckon it's ever going to get to a point, Mike, where there is, little drama, where it's only a little thing here and there, not this constant, revelation that keeps on happening in CG?
No, I think this is. I mean, obviously for the people involved, it's probably pretty important, but I think this isn't particularly massive. I mean, it's disappointing to me. I'm disappointed that this was going on. I'm not super shocked, but at the end of the day, it's not going to ruin my night. I'm going to go in after this and have tacos and watch TV with my wife, and I won't be thinking about it again for another 3 days. Maybe if some people talk about it on some streams, I'll listen in, but it's not. But there have been moments where I have been quite worried because I know people. I don't really know Doug Ernst. I've had very minimal interaction with him, but all the interactions that I've had have been super positive, which is why I'm disappointed by this. But yeah, I didn't think it's massive, and I think it's been for the last year. It's actually been very quiet,
chilled out
on the old
in
Western front.
Yeah, it does seem like it is, like, if it is kind of like the drama is going down, like on a level, like slowly, I guess. Antoine says, "I got here late. Can someone tell me what's going on?" Yes, in lieu of going back to the beginning. Basically, Comic Book Hut, who is a guy on YouTube who's been making hit pieces on Ethan and your boy Zach and other people, in Comicsgate, negatively reviewing books, doing all this kind of stuff. He has revealed to JDA and Ethan on JDA's stream that
he did his own video of it first. That's how
he did his own video. There had been gay ops, as they call it, where Doug Ernst had been sending him the videos and the titles for the videos for him to post So kind of using him as a proxy, I guess. It's just crazy.
And as people who are in, making comics on the side, and I saw Jasper ask this question earlier, and I think it's a very good topic for probably another show, or if we get onto it later, which is, why is everyone having to draw so many pages before the book starts, before the campaign goes live? I think it comes down to a lot of us just don't necessarily trust how long it's going to take to get these things done. I learned that the hard way last time. And the reason I bring that up is because who the hell has time for any of this BS? I don't like, if you're making comics, who has time for this? I don't know. I don't understand it. Clearly, some people do have time and make time out of their day. I'm befuddled by it, genuinely. Anyone who watches my channel knows I often will think of a topic half an hour before I put the stream up.
5 minutes before.
Exactly. So I do that because I don't have time, and I say I'm going to do all these videos, and then I just realize I don't have the time. So I don't know. It's confusing to me, but it keeps happening. So yeah, there's obviously people who are into this.
There were some really kind of disgusting moments. Did you see this part? It wasn't. I don't think he mentioned his dad, but did you see this part, Mike, where he was like, the DM from Doug said, if that person dies, I'll pay for their funeral as well. Did you see that part? That was, I did see that. Yeah. I mean, again, it's in a DM. It's not like we're talking, so you can't really get the context. But it seemed pretty horrible. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that.
It's one DM. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But if we're going to keep up with this being proper journalists and say things like alleged, I think Crackhead has it. It was strangely worded. Whenever I'm talking anything serious, and it doesn't happen very often, but I want to go into it like a backstage and do something like this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it in a tweet thread in DMs, because it's for that exact reason.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not great to have that stuff hanging around on the internet, coming back to be sort of used against you, taken out of context or whatever. But most importantly, people read into DMs or tweets in whatever way that they want.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, no, I did see that and go like, well, that's... Yeah, no, I can totally read it being passive aggressive as well, which is, yeah, that's why I wouldn't be sending stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be saying that anyway. So,
yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably still talk about it a little bit more, but if you guys in chat have anything you want to say, I'll read it out now, since we've kind of gone through it. Really, really bizarre. I mean, I've been involved in drama maybe once or twice. I just don't know how people have the energy to keep it going. Like, it's just a waste of time. I don't get what they get out of it.
Some people live for it. Some people live for it. It's why they're here, and we know that. I'm not one of these people who say no drama, avoid all the drama. I like a bit of the drama sometimes. I don't want to be intimately involved in it. I take like great pains to make sure that's the case. But it's confusing to me that people have time for it. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, let's get to some of the chat so they can give their
Phoenix says, if people are just going to assume whatever they want, why bother caring in the first place? Old Dirty Fatty says, seriously, who has the time or interest in all this infighting?
Well, people are interested. People are interested. That is a thing. And I know a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
depending on when you catch me during the day, you know, I might be interested or might not be. It does tend to get boring real quick, and that's why, you know, the drama always moves on to the next big thing. I've noticed that.
It's kind of it's kind of similar to a drunk stream in a way, Bancroft. Like, you know, they're fun every once in a while, but when it becomes a constant thing, it just kind of gets annoying. Crackhead said something earlier that it's different wherever you hang out in CG. Like, I went over and was watching that stream today, and like there were so many people I've never seen over here, like never seen their names at all. It's like two totally different places in CG.
It's not just two.
No, there's like hundreds.
It's, well, I don't know if there's hundreds, but yeah, there's a lot of different corners. We could call them tents even.
All right, I'm back in sales.
I like to think of it like tents. I didn't realize I was so out of camera here. I'm leaning over to the side. I like to think of them as tents sometimes, because they do sort of revolve around a tent, what I consider a tent pole creator. Like, obviously Ethan is the biggest tent pole creator. He's holding up the biggest tent in CG. And then there are other, similar creators, and they have their own interests. And yeah, I had that guy come to me the other week, last week, and he had really bad. Now, he wasn't a bitter ex-girlfriend of CG. He just had some bad interactions with CG, and luckily I sort of gleaned that he wasn't someone who'd already made up his mind and was completely unreasonable. He was someone who was genuinely had a beef with some people in Comicsgate, and we were able to sort of hash that out because he had come into CG through somewhere where he had bad experiences, and he didn't even realize that this corner of CG even existed. There's anything like this. And
let me read some of these. Beowulf says keeping a negative attitude is too energy draining. I agree, dude. Mortal V says, but Hut himself trying to quote Catholic theology while also being a meat puppet for clout doesn't make him look any better either. Paulie's Art says he gave up on drama almost 2 years ago. Ryan Johnson says, I prefer the fake drama. Yeah, that's the best stuff. That's the most fun.
Yeah, agreed.
Scrolling down. I used to like Doug from Jamie, but as soon as he became a no drama guy, I backed away. No drama guys are always the deepest in it.
I have noticed that. That, yeah, the people who make it part of their brand to be no drama, it's sort of, when people get out on Twitter and they just say like, I am really strongly against rape. And you're like, what? Why are you like,
okay,
let's all make a statement, guys. Let's all get together and make a statement how we're against sexual assault. That's a red flag to me. So if you're out there saying, I mean, you can just not partake. Just don't partake in the drama. If you make it as part of your brand, I start to think, what's that about? Now, I'm not saying that applies to everyone. I'm just saying that that's sort of, it's the old male feminist thing happening again. It's like you're clothing yourself in this brand. Is that clothing because that's what you like, or is that camouflage because you're just trying to hide something? As Antoine points out, he doth protest too much.
Yeah, I prefer fake drama. I prefer drama that involves people like in Comicsgate and the drama with someone outside Comicsgate. I don't like the internal drama too much because I don't think it makes us look good. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mo says Rob already gatekept my suggestion for a topic for the first episode of The Bottom Rung with Rob and B Rose. KFC used to sell ribs. That's a good one.
I don't remember that. Maybe that was an American thing.
Yeah, we don't get things here, Mike. They don't do stuff like that here.
Yeah. Although we did have the McRib. I remember that.
Did we? Wasn't that just on
Yes, of course we had the McRib.
The Simpsons?
No, that's a real thing. The McRib. Come on. It was stamped.
Crackhead says, I'm just thankful we got this corner of CG 2 here. My channel, Camel, Rob's, Shanth, art and stuff, etc. Everyone here is doing really well in their campaigns and channels, and there's practically no drama here. Yeah. Skip says fake drama hurts too.
It can.
Hey, Rob, I replied to your email on Thursday. I was wondering if you got it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, Rick. I'll double check in a second. I'm still waiting to hear from the second place winner, Mike. It's crazy.
No. Although I did neglect to send it to you his email until a couple of days after. That's my fault. So I apologize to the second place winner if they just haven't got it yet. But they've got it now, so hopefully they'll get back to it. Yeah, I know. I'm really happy that we have this. We sort of carved out this corner of CG as well, because this didn't exist before.
No.
It used to be on Ethan almost entirely to promote books. And that's fine if you've got a book that is good enough for what he considers worthy of promotion. But there's lots of other people that, he doesn't want to promote or can't promote. And one person cannot promote everyone. We know that. And, there used to be some more, but they've sort of fallen to the wayside. Or I always think I launched on Greater Point 5. That was fantastic. There were other channels. And yeah, so now in this sort of corner of CG, it may not be the most popular. We may not get the big, 200, 300, 400, 500 viewers on a live stream, but we can certainly sell a lot of books. We can certainly have some good streams where a lot of people back books and everything. So, and it's not, obviously it's not just me. It's all these guys that Crackhead said, we're all sort of lending a hand. It's almost like crowd promotion. And it's, I'm really happy that we got this thing up and functioning and working really well.
Guys, the Mohawk is not getting shaved. Sorry, the Rob Hawk is not getting shaved. It's staying. You're just going to have to deal with it. Rizikai says the real drama in CG is the mysterious black hole that sucked up John Malin's eyebrows.
One day
Camel's
we'll
in the chat.
learn the mystery. Oh, I thought Camel said this is too late for him. He's not doing this show anymore. Then all of a sudden, we got 126 people in here, and lo and behold, who pops up? Who wakes up?
He's so predictable. He's so predictable.
Like Camel.
Dan, dude, if you want to come on right now and do some drawing, please. God.
Yeah, save us from there. I'm not really focused on anything at the moment.
I don't know. Like, I've wanted to get Dan on here for ages, and he
says, no, I don't want on. I know, all right, okay. Yeah, that's magnanimous of you, Camel. How's your father says bring on Hut instead of Camel? I'm sure Hut is in bed.
Jasper has it. He says the Mohawk is all Rob has left. I see that House of Cards, Arnold. Dude, don't tell everyone, please. I'm going to send down the link. See if he wants to pop in. Mike, with this piece, have you thought about making it so that the water or the liquid that is in, like, goes around his eyes? So you got that like nice eye shot. Just throwing that out there.
This is the third or fourth sequence in a sequence of him rising out of the water. So yes, I probably can do something like that in the initial sequences. So when he very first comes out, it could just be running over the top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, so like you've got like that shot there. So it's cut off there.
Yes.
That'll look sick.
Yeah,
that'll look awesome.
Yeah,
you
it's
got
like
a
zoomed
super
in.
chat from Scotsman.
Scotsman for 5. Thank you. It says painfully low amount of supers for you, Mike. This ginger ain't gonna stand for it. So from all of the Inkslayer crew, Health to you and all of your success. Thank you so much, Scotsman. And can I say, I hope that Tyler gets his comic book poker game going so we can meet on the virtual felt soon.
I see Dave Brink's in the house. He's got a cover coming up from Alan Goldman, man, and I got one from him as well. And the dude is legit. So I'd love to see that, Dave. I don't know if it's finished yet, but maybe if it is and you want me to show it, I can show it. Antoine says that drawing looks like a first-person point of view morning wood. It really kind of does. It kind of does.
Yeah, this is. I tell you.
Oh my god.
Well, it's too true. It's too real. People want to know why I don't do more sort of drawings on stream. I just
so
prefer to
like
do
a
fake
condom.
drawings.
Like now that you said it, it looks exactly like a condom. And it's got that little bit at the top.
D-man, right?
Oh my god.
Ethan's nose coming out of the liquid, says Mortal V. God damn it. Yeah, well.
Mike, I've got a joke for you sometime today.
It's not that joke you put in that DM, is it? Because that was awful.
No, dude, I can't say that out loud. That was so bad.
Oh my god. Rob, we're watching a B-Row stream. Rob tells a joke in a DM group, and both reactions, myself and another person, were like, "What the fuck, Rob?" Honestly,
it was so far past the line that it was just. It was not cool. But I was laughing my ass off.
That's just weird. That's just weird that you found that funny. But what's your joke? Come on, hit us.
Oh, okay. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the ugly guy's house.
What? We just lost 10 people. What? Explain yourself.
Knock,
that is not Aussie humor, Snake Oiler.
Knock, knock.
No.
Knock,
No. We're not moving on. What was that joke?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
All right.
Walked right into that one.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that one. Right. Is that you?
Yeah. D-man.
Yeah. I need a fit for the pit thing. Kick Rob.
That was good.
That
was good.
Right, okay. I mean, it wasn't great because it didn't require me to fall into any trap like you did with Eric, but it's passable. It made me laugh. You pass.
I love that joke. The funny thing is, it was like a 6-year-old did that, told her to her dad or something. I'm like, it's pretty clever for a 6-year-old. I thought it was great.
Well, they don't make them up, Rob.
Oh, I thought she did. She said she did. 3 out of 10, Mo. Come on. Yeah, look, Mark liked it, bro. That knock knock at the end. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I mean, without that, it wasn't even.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
Yes.
You're redeemed for now.
Oh my god. Why did the frog cross the road? It was stapled to the chicken. Mortal V says, why did the chicken cross the road? Because it was where the grass ended. That was the kind of stuff Ethan had written up. Oh, Barry's here. Hail to the chat. This is my first time catching a Bancroft stream live. Good to see you, dude.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, I know a lot of. That's the cool thing about doing these. I guess they're sort of like late night draw streams. Is we get to catch people that we, otherwise never are able to during the normal ones.
Oh,
I know, right? Old dirty fatty is like, yeah, see what he started. I know, right? You give him a little bit of encouragement. Hey, what are we doing for when are we doing Rob Teenth? What's going on? Have you
dude,
thought of
I don't
anything?
know. No, I don't know. It's up to you guys. It's up to you whether you want to actually do it or not.
Well, I think we have to. It's been a particularly rough year for Rob Arnold in terms of
Mo,
the.
why did Rob cross the road? Because his mum wouldn't let him play Frogger. Oh my god, that's good.
Did you see the in the midst of all this drama that was happening? Did you see that they showed off a new Dalkion cover?
How lucky is Sontag to get that?
Well, I mean, some call it luck. Some say luck is just opportunity meeting preparation. Isn't that the saying?
I don't know.
Joe says it better than me. Joe Fulton.
Where is Joe? So on your show
Family
today?
stuff. No, well, no, I don't normally stream today, so it was today was very impromptu. I Clint had asked me. I hadn't really been on Twitter these last sort of 2 or 3 days. I just been drawing and taking a bit of break. And he'd asked me about a week ago, and then I realized I wouldn't be able to get him on at all if I didn't do it today. So it worked out well. He got it back, and maybe we'll get some more on the replays. Are you going to bring up that Dalkion piece?
Oh,
So we can
that would
judge
make
it.
sense.
We can look at some good art.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Mike. You try.
It's all right. I know where I sit on the totem pole.
Can
That's
we
fine.
just talk about for a second how insane this is? He's got 23 hours left. He's got 521 backers for his first 30 days. Mate.
Yeah, I didn't get
incredible.
500 backers while my campaign was live. That's for sure. I mean, Ethan said recently that to succeed in crowdfunding, you need to be. You can have two things. Now you can have one or the other, but it's best to have both. Which is be likable person and have a kick-ass IP. And Joe is, I mean, he is going above and beyond with the IP. Just really everything about it is really tickling the right places for people. So it's and yeah, who doesn't like Joe? I mean, people might not know Joe, but even if you don't know Joe, you're going to love what you see here if this is the sort of comic you're into. And I'm not even particularly into this sort of stuff anymore. I love this when I was
thing.
Well, this sort of very kind of Spawn dark superhero kind of thing.
Dark Avenger.
I didn't know what was happening there. I was into this big time when I was a teen, like 12, 13, but I didn't even hesitate. I mean, I'm back in this. Absolutely. I'm not missing out on this. And I'm ready to be, sort of reconvinced on this. And people saying rip Malin's cover. Am I launching Groken 2? I reached out to Kenneth just to sort of see what he was up to. I mean, I haven't offered. I never really offer to launch anyone.
I reached out before Bancroft and before Jeremy did, and I said, what are your plans for launching Groken 2? I'm sure Jeremy would launch you if you want, or, failing that, I'm happy to launch you on my channel if you don't have any better options. I was first. Just want to put it out there.
It's not a race. I mean, it's not about you, Rob. That's the thing. It's about Kenneth. And I mean, I'm not I think Kenneth will be fine. It doesn't whether he launches on a stream or not. People are so pumped for this book. I think it would probably do better on the day if he launched on a stream.
Come on, of course it would.
But yeah. Look, he'll do great. People really dug what he was doing there. Dongs asks, all right, is the stream over? I don't know. I'm going to guess. I think we, in terms of the topic, the main topic, I think we exhausted everything. I don't know what, unless anyone else has any other questions about it.
Mortal V, Kenneth, thank you, Rob. I think I'll take my chances. Dude, yeah, I would too. Bellendor says, leave it to the Just a Writer Schmuck to make it about himself. Yeah, why not? I wonder what Ethan thinks of my Heather edit. I haven't seen that, and I'm scared to see.
What Heather edit?
I don't know. Are you gonna back this cover, Mike?
Maybe. We'll see.
Hard not
I don't know. You might keep it in demand for a while, like I did with the Roquefort cover on Battlebrick Road. I just backed it just now. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a lot of other books I would like to back, but I can't really justify it money wise. Oh, there's a question from Skip. Mark Brooks is streaming with DA Talks tomorrow.
Who's
DA Talks is used to stream with Vicky. I think they had a falling out. There'll be people. I don't know if Dongs is still here. Might have abandoned us. But there'll be people who know much more about that than me. But yeah, Vicky and DA used to do a show together. And I think that ended. And I'm pretty sure I've seen out there that yeah, Mark Brooks will be streaming on DA's show tomorrow.
Oh, he's gonna be in for a lot of hurt on that show. Surely.
Why?
People.
Who? Why?
Surely fans of CG will go there and give him the business, Mike. Surely.
I don't think he cares. I think he probably revels in that, doesn't he? Like,
That'd be
he's made no bones about that. He doesn't really care what CG thinks.
It's different though when you're typing it out on a keyboard or your phone as opposed to reading it in the chat live while you're on a stream.
Maybe. Yeah, but you're not made of stand stuff, Rob. We know that. Maybe.
Okay. Lethal Diva says DA Talks just got back with Vicky. They did a video bashing Ethan last week.
There you go. See, I'm not up on the I'm not up on what's going on over there. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's very, I don't know what's going on with that guy. He's very insistent about taking down Comicsgate.
Skip says, I think they're all anti-CG and it's attack on Shane personally. Support the Cat Pappy folks. It is really weird that they really do seem to hate Shane as much as anyone, like as much as Ethan. I don't know. Is it because he fights back?
Strangely worded. Are you saying Ethan hates Shane?
No, like the
anti-CG
guys hate Shane.
Well,
so
Shane
much.
used to be. Shane was in the Whisper Network. He was there.
Was he like their boy wonder and he left? Is that why?
Well, I think they realized he was a narc. And he never actually agreed with them. So, I mean, I think so. I don't really know. But I've never heard this Mark Brooks guy talk. I've seen his tweets. He likes to slide up into people's, mentions and give them a bit of a lesson, a little bit of a life lesson on everything they're doing wrong with their life. I'm obviously not anyone of any note, so he's never made any contact with me. I never did anything before comics. I've just put one comic out. But he certainly makes it his business to sort of get out there and let everyone know what they're doing wrong in life.
He tried to slide into Irene's DMs. We heard Brooks talk on another stream that was briefly EFAP'd a wee while ago. Hopefully, Brooks will perform as well as Donny Cates' brief YouTube appearance. That is probably in like my top 3 ever streams. That Donny Cates one where he called Ethan. God, that was hilarious. So funny.
Well, if you recall, I think there was a concerted effort by SJW Comics to sort of retake YouTube. I don't think they realized it was never theirs to begin with. So yeah, that failed miserably. They just didn't understand the YouTube culture, the YouTube landscape. It just came off as utter cringe, and they really did leave with their tails between their legs. This is the thing people don't really understand. Like, you can be on a stream with 5 people watching and not be cringe. It's sort of how you approach it, I think, that really matters. Hang on, let's get back to Antoine's comment there. Sorry. Antoine said, "I'm not anyone of note either." And Mark Brooks slid into my DMs as a life lesson back in the OTS. What does that mean? You're an acronym guy.
No.
Anyway, but maybe it's because you're black, Antoine, and he was like, "You're going to you are just being," because I've seen that used. I saw that mentioned. The same person who sent me a novel earlier in the week, I saw them out on Twitter as again saying that the only reason we have anyone in here who's not a straight white male and a white supremacist is because we keep people like Antoine around so that we can deflect accusations of white supremacy. So maybe that's where
crazy. Mark
was going there. But you are someone of worth, Antoine. You are a up and coming artist in working comics, and you make good hats.
Dude, like, see, I don't follow this stuff, so it must be annoying to people in the chat that do. But like, do they have big channels? Do any of them have big channels?
But when you say who you're talking about,
like the anti-CG people, do they actually have any presence on YouTube that's of note?
Well, I mean, I didn't consider my channel a big channel either, even though I know within CG people say it is. But I consider all of our channels to be quite tiny, so I don't want to like throw shade at anyone. I think anyone under, say, 10,000 is quite small, unless you can get 500 people into a live stream. You're a small channel. So I don't want to throw shade at anyone, but no, we're not talking hundreds of people watching and they're getting tens of thousands of views a month or anything like that. I really don't think so.
Jay Williams, Mark Brooks blocked me because I said he was a tool and unprofessional to attack people so publicly. Yeah, he's a weird dude.
Didn't you say the same thing?
Dude, I said I posted a cover I really liked. I didn't know he drew it. I just said, this is a really cool cover. Didn't tag him. I didn't know it was his. And, Eric, I think it was Eric the Guapo. Could be wrong. He said, like, it's a shit cover. I don't know what he said. It doesn't matter. But Brooks like took it super personally and, got upset. I'm like, dude, is this your first day on the internet? People are going to dislike things. You're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah, it's your art. I mean,
I'm like,
yeah, you can't have a big ego when it comes to your art.
It's crazy.
And especially as well, it's crazy. Like I've noticed a lot of these bitter ex-girlfriends of CG, they have very few followers on Twitter. So it's easy to sort of come to, get defensive and, start yelling back at them. But then you realize a lot of them have, 15 followers. They follow 500 people and they've only had 18 people follow them back in 3 years or something. So it's like, is it really worth your time even trying to argue with them? But yeah, I had the same thing when I first saw Mark Brooks's art. I originally just kind of looked at the rendering, I suppose. Oh yeah, this guy seems pretty good. Whatever. I mean, obviously, it's nothing that blew me away. But then when I started listening to artists critique what was happening, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's all really valid. Like, this is a very static image. It's like sort of laid on top of each other. And I was like, yeah, that, I can understand that. I haven't seen any other artists say, oh yeah, Mark Brooks is my favorite artist. That's not, I mean, never really. Yeah, something like this, for example. It's like,
Where am I meant to look?
I can't remember who said it. Yeah, that's the thing. So when I first saw this, oh yeah, that's pretty good. If someone came to you and said, look at what I can do, I'd be, oh, that's impressive. But then when you want to look at it and break it down, you're exactly right. It's just a sort of a mesh, and there's no storytelling happening in this.
Yeah, like you compare it to the piece I showed you at the start of the stream, like that had a focus and was beautiful to look at. This is just like, my eyes are just freaking out looking everywhere.
John says there's a difference between a mashup and mash together, and that one of the first ever comic book related things I had was a hardcover from the 70s, and I opened it up from Marvel, and it did have a mashup of all the characters, but they were all doing something, and the biggest characters were the most prominent. Spider-Man's swinging in, and Hulk is smashing through, and okay, all right. You want to do one where they're all just sort of standing around. Okay, but you do have some people in the background doing things. And then I start hearing people talking about, that the figures are too static, and there's no focus in the coloring and all that stuff. Okay, that's valid criticism. But then I saw him calling out Dal Keown, saying, and including Comicsgate in it, saying, what is it when these incredible artists join Comicsgate makes them so crap, when the opposite seems to be true? And the piece he was talking about was the one with Heather and the Axe and Cyberfrog and I think Salamandroid and all the wasps and everything. I was like, this guy's off his gourd. What is it? Like, this isn't, he's not talking sense here. He's butthurt over Comicsgate for some reason, and is taking it out on Dal Keown of all people. I mean, there's lots of other artists in CG you can have a crack at, and you'll have a bit more sympathy out there. But
Mike, what are we meant to be looking at in this piece? Like, how would you color this?
I don't know. I don't know how you could color it. You would have to. You'd have to lose people Antoine? In terms of. I think that could happen. I think that could happen if it was like a new artist coming into CG and they did something. Like, that was my initial thought. Is this person can really render, and they can draw figures. That was my initial feeling when I saw it. But when artists started breaking down about the flaws, and then as well, everyone looks like they have a kind of shiny plastic coating on them, like they've all been lacquered.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that has to be pointed out to you, and you go, oh yeah, that is true. What is that? What's up with that?
Like here, like these three characters kind of blend together. I mean, I probably have more problems with the colors rather than the art. But then, like Mike says, like everyone is static. There's like no movement in this piece, really. I mean, you've got this guy spinning this thing up here. Archangel's meant to be flying, but he's kind of just floating there. I don't get it. I don't really understand.
Well, and again, look, I wouldn't even be talking about this piece. If Mark Brooks hadn't arced up at Dale, and gone out of his way to throw shade at CG over it, and said Dale has no focus in his art, I wouldn't have even looked at this thing again. I would have just been left with my initial my initial reaction, which was, oh yeah, that's all right. That's pretty good. And I wouldn't have dissected it any further. This is one of the reasons why I really try to avoid going after anyone's art, because I mean, anyone can, fake draw on live all the time. Anyone can go after anything that I do, and they'll probably be right about it. So
the thing is, though, like I could give you this piece, and you could color it better than this.
I don't know about that. This is
I do.
like this is a very
I do.
It's a very complicated piece. It's very complex.
Camel says, "Why would
there's a
Wolverine
lot
be
going
posing in his
into it.
Weapon X gear?" I don't know.
I don't know about any of that stuff. Like
Someone said before, "Why is Nightcrawler a white guy?" I don't know.
Where is he?
On the left here. I think that's him. Yeah, that's him there.
Is that Night? Oh, it is.
Oh
Look,
no,
his
it's
hands.
here. No, he's down the
Is that-
bottom.
No,
No, he's there. Maybe that's
He's
who
not
they
white,
thought
is he?
too. No, he's like totally black.
he's blue. He's a blue guy, isn't he?
Bluey black. Yeah.
Are there two Wolverines?
Yeah, there's one here too. On there.
Where's the other one?
Here.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I barely ever know what's happening. Don't ask me. Don't ask me these things.
It's confusing.
People ask me about comics. I just say, go ask someone who knows.
There's another one here. You want to have a look at the other one? Why not? Oh, I like this one
it's
better.
the same sort of piece, though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Is this his thing? This is his thing. This is what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not so much concerned about the guy's art. If he can make a living off his art, good on him.
Is that Gwyneth Paltrow on the right? Yeah, it is. It's good call.
Yeah.
Same problem.
I'm more interested in the sort of things that he says, and the fact that it seems like he's sliding into the DMs of random people on the internet trying to save them from CG or something. It's very weird. Like, why is someone so concerned about people's potential careers in comics?
We'll probably get DMs tomorrow, Mike, about it, I'd say.
Oh yeah, we might. My DMs are open. That would be funny. I would be interested to get a DM from Mark Brooks. See what he has to say.
Like, I think he can draw. It's just when like there's massive pages.
The
like
guy
that.
can absolutely draw. I don't think that's in question. He can render really well.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wouldn't even be discussing this if he hadn't come out and gotten all weird.
Are you guys jealous Mark Brooks tried to say Vic King, but not you?
Yeah, we're like what's his name?
Yeah.
Is it Stan Marsh? No, who is it? Someone in South Park he went to his dad and he was like, "You never molested me. Was I not good enough for you to be molested?" Yeah. I know, it seems like you might be right. We are missing out on sort of a rite of passage. We need to be propositioned by Mark Brooks. I mean, I guess it just shows we're not getting ourselves out there enough, Rob. We need to get outside our bubble.
I know.
And meet new people and get seen.
I like
by
our bubble
other
though,
people.
Bancroft. There's
Yeah, but we got to get
doesn't
out
seem
there.
to
We
be
can't just
many
stay-
crazy people in it. It seems like a somewhat non-crazy bubble.
You'd be surprised.
Beowulf says his drawing is fine. There is just no focus and the covers are too busy. Sometimes, more often than not, simple is best.
That was my take. But actually, when I first saw it, I thought that's fine. That'll do. Not my favorite, but whatever.
Jamie says, all I got out of that was Bancroft wants to be molested by Mark.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should invite Liam back on, Mr. Dongs.
I don't know if Liam would want to come on anymore.
Dave
I don't
says,
know.
I'd rather
I'm of the opinion that we should always leave the window open if people want to make a genuine.
It depends how much of an asshole they were, though. Like,
yeah, but what if they say, look, I had my reasons, but what I did was, for what I did and blah blah blah. I don't know. Like, I just don't know if we should be canceling people forever. But I think for me, maybe the ship sailed.
oh, is Dave working on a 3D sculpt, Mike? Check out this. That's cool.
Very nice. Everyone seems like oh hello.
Whoa,
Seems like everyone has a 3D sculpt these days.
I know.
That looks like, maybe it's just that looks like the one that Clayton drew of her. Or am I completely wrong?
I don't know. How much did that cost, Dave? Slide into my DMs if you like. I want to know these things. Garrett Graves. Liam has nothing to sell. Zelda ripoff comic. Even if he comes back, no one will back his stuff. Timothy says Brooks can draw. He just isn't good or famous enough to be lecturing anyone or saying credit deserves 70% fixes EVS's mistakes and Ethan is an untalented hack, etc. I mean,
yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? It's just stupid.
Now that's a real thing. Like,
can't argue with stupid people.
I don't give anyone that sort of advice. I wouldn't dare, I wouldn't dare to tell someone who's been working in the industry for 30 years how to do their job. That's just not cricket.
Mr. Dongs. Okay, if Liam won't come back, maybe Hut can come on for the Bancroft bump.
I'm not sure about that.
He's thinking about it.
I don't know. Look, I've never had any interaction with Hut at all that I can remember. None. I don't know if he knows this show exists. So
Liam's Jay says Liam himself said there's no money in CG. So what's the point? What point would there be for him to come back? There is so much money in CG. Like there is an opportunity here that, as I say, I don't think some people appreciate. For someone like myself and Bancroft to nearly break $50,000 as new creators, I think that's absolutely insane. And I'm grateful for that opportunity all the time.
Yeah, look, if you've got, that's the thing. There's bigger money to be made in other places, but how are you gonna get there? I think for a guy, guys like you and me, there's no better place than Comicsgate. Like to build something, to build an IP over time and have people actually support you along the way. I'm in complete agreement. We're not Shonen Jump. You're not going to get book deals and distribution deals in the hundreds of thousands worldwide, but there's nothing to say that we can't do that one day. Eventually, people have this. I've noticed this. People look at what Comicsgate is capable of doing now, and just say that's all CG will ever be. Whereas I tend to look at it as if this is just sort of the beginning of it all.
I always find it really funny when they're always like, oh, only this person makes $100,000. I'm like, some people making $20,000 is an outstanding success. $10,000 getting funded. Like, I don't know where they get this number from that they think that's all we're after. I mean, people just want to make comics here.
Yeah, you can always just say as opposed to what?
Yeah.
As opposed to what is making massive amounts of money. Is it anything you have connection to, or are you available to tap into anything like that? Because I don't really see it. But look, I'm open to selling pretty much anywhere. It's just you've got to build up that desire for the product that you're making first. You can't just come out of the gate as a complete unknown and expect people are going to want to buy whatever you're selling in the hundreds of thousands or the tens of thousands. That has to be built over time.
Mike, this is some really thick liquid.
Oh, it's viscous. It's not I'm trying to make the actual body of this liquid similar to what's sort of coming off him. But
Dave says, if you're making comics to make lots of money, you probably won't stay around for long. Yeah, I mean, the overwhelming majority of people just want to get their comics made. I think I can't say that, but
I want to make lots of money.
Yeah,
I don't know if I will, but I'm not putting it all in the one basket. But I'm hoping eventually, after a long period of time, building up an IP that I can make some decent money. But we have to build that. We have to build that audience. That's what I think CG does best. Is over time building up, a network and a culture of buying comic books through the internet. That it hasn't been around all that long, and not in the way that we can really take advantage of, at least yet.
Crackett says, is this Olam related? No, this is what's his face? Bancroft. I forgot his name. Gilgamesh.
This is not Gilgamesh.
Is this Enkidu?
This is no, it's not Enkidu. This is happening in the current day timeline. Yes.
Has Gilgamesh brought back Enkidu to relive his fantasies again?
No. But this is happening in the, what is it? Catacombs? How do you say that word?
Catacombs.
Is it catacombs? I say that and people laugh at me. Like a comb, like your hair?
Yes.
Anyway.
What else is it going to be? Catacomb?
This is happening in the present day timeline of the book. And yeah, you'll see who this is emerging out of the water.
Ella.
When you get it's not Ella.
Yeah, I can tell. You can see no boobs there. I can tell it's not Ella.
Well, I've been drawing Ella's boobs lately, and I'm getting more used to it.
Perth
maybe
says,
one day I'll have nipples in the comic.
Shipping costs is the biggest threat to CG. That's an interesting. What do you think the biggest threat to CG is, Mike?
It's not a threat to CG. Who said that? Who said that?
Perth said it. Kill him, Bancroft. Get him.
It's not a threat to CG. It's a limitation for CG for what we're doing right now. So there's only so far we can expand with readership in doing what we're doing, and that's a big criticism that we get. A lot of these ex-girlfriends make that criticism. That we're not looking outwards, we're not growing, we're shrinking because of the way we do things. I don't agree with that, but I do recognize that we are limiting ourselves to a certain demographic who can afford what we're doing here. That is true, but to that I just say this is just the beginning. This is the creation phase of what we're doing. Very few of us have put together more than 4 or 5 titles.
Mm.
You can probably count on one hand
Yeah.
of the people who have been able to do that. So,
And Jasper will say that's our biggest threat: the lack
What
of
is?
the lack of actual product that we're getting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, like people like the idea, like for instance, Jawbreakers. I really like the idea of Jawbreakers. I am yet to be sold on the actual Jawbreakers themselves in the books. That's an issue. I haven't seen what I was hoping to see
Mhm.
when I first was sold the idea of the Jawbreakers. I've become a big fan of Cyberfrog, but if we want to talk about what I've actually got, it's limited. Yeah. And you can look at anything, even guys like Mark Poulton, who's put out a lot. Who else? Dave Brink with Genuine. He's on issue 3. You with Replicator. We're still talking the very early days.
Yeah.
So it's not as if we would even be able to have massive IPs yet. This stuff will take time to build. And then once we've built that, we can take what we've got. And so we've gone past the create. We're not gone past it. I think we'll still always use it, but we'll take what we've created with the crowdfunding and go out to the people and distribution, bookstores, libraries, all that sort of stuff. I just don't think we're in the position now to do that yet. I think maybe we could do it once, but then where do you go from there? Hey, where's the next book? Oh, that'll be in 3 years. That'll be in, when are you going to have the series finished? 10 years time. Like, it's going to take a long time. I think
the more successful campaigns are, it will actually increase the speed of production. So, for example, with you, right? Let's say your next one was mega successful, and because of that, you're in the position to go full time during comics, right? That's gonna speed up your production a crazy amount.
Mhm.
But if you're not as successful and you have to keep doing it the same way you're gonna do it, it's gonna take longer to get people, the work that you want to get done. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. So all these issues that we talk about, shipping, late books, all that sort of stuff is real. That is a real, genuine limitation to the crowdfunding side of things. But I think the crowdfunding is, and I hope it's always part of what we're doing because I do love it. But I think it's part of the first step of what we're doing. And we're creating these things, and then you've got them. Then they're there. We can print them. Depending on how much demand there is out there, we can get them out to whatever. I mean, I don't know what's going to exist in the future, what people are going to be, how they're going to want to read and stuff like that. But we've got to actually get these things made and get people excited about these IPs first.
Yeah, I'm in the fortunate position of because of the success of Rep 3, I was pretty much able to fund nearly all of Rep 4 up front, which is good. And then I'll be able to do the same thing if Rep 4 is successful. I think that would be really cool. And maybe expand into some other titles. But it all depends on how campaigns go for me, and probably for a lot of other people as well. Perth has a really good comment here too, Bankers. He says, if the payday is too big, creators slow down, not naming names. He's not wrong. There are some cases that does happen.
I think that can happen in everything. I think that's just a genuine, a human thing. It's sort of like, when they say don't pay your artists up front because they've already been paid, so they have no motivation.
Yeah.
Like if you've already reached the mountaintop, it's hard to stay hungry. I guess what you've got to do is you got to realize that you've reached one mountaintop. There's another massive mountain.
Yeah.
It's, as far as I can see, the biggest mountaintop is to do what Brandon Sanderson did. Like let's never get complacent and lose our hunger until until one of us has made $32 million on a campaign of 4 books. You know, like keep that in your mind, and you'll stay hungry. But no, yeah, that's happened. It's not doesn't happen to everyone, but we have seen it happen.
Snake Oiler says, graphic novels versus standard comics. Do people prefer less more often or more less often?
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. I think if you ask normie, non-CG people, they'll say it's more less often. But usually when you poll Comicsgate, they'll say we prefer more less often. But there are still people who are putting out floppies, and they're pretty successful.
Duarte says, problem with CG is that self-promotion robs a lot of time from actual drawing. Yep.
That's an issue. Yep.
It's true. Mo says, if I'm paying $10 shipping, I prefer more less often.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that could, that's a great point. That's one of the reasons why we've gone this model, like bigger premium items, because you're spending shipping, you're waiting. Shane says we will all be old men sitting. Oh, yeah, you want to get to that? Okay, Antoine Dennison for 5. Major partnerships is the next evolution in this. Printers, distributors, etc. But that only happens when interest in the IP increases significantly. Bingo. Exactly. And we have to build that interest from scratch. There was an existing,
it really is.
There was an existing independent comic community scene or whatever, and we can tap into that as well as we can. I mean, there's the people who gatekeep that community have sort of thrown up a fog around CG so that people don't know what's happening over here as much. But we know that the mainstream absolutely squandered the normie comic book reading culture demographic. The people just threw it away with whatever the hell they did. And so we're going to have to rebuild that. So yeah, building that interest is going to be a long, hard slog, and it's going to take a lot of passionate people who really believe in what they're doing, which is lucky because you can't make comics without being really passionate and believing what you're doing. It's too hard otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know what the next step is. Do you have any thoughts on what the next step is?
No, but I think there's guys out there pushing,
doing it.
The
Aerith,
the boundaries. Yeah. As gauche as it might be to say right now, but the guys at Iconic, are succeeding in a lot of fronts in that way. Aerith, yeah, absolutely, with what he's trying. I like Aerith. Eric July is obviously someone to look to, but I mean, he's Eric July. You can't replicate that system. You have to be Eric July. So that's why, for someone like me, it's more useful to see what Brian is doing, because he doesn't have 2 million people watching his YouTube channel every month or whatever it is. So yeah, we can always look to that. We have the chat here who are always fantastic with suggestions and all that sort of stuff, and they'll let us know what's working and what isn't and what they want. But no, I can't predict the future.
Ballandor says the next step is not paying $50 for shipping from the States to Australia. Memes aside, I think the next step is to have the book as done as possible pre-campaign and step up quality across the board. One thing
I think we're all doing that.
One thing I would say is I think the quality since I got here has gone up significantly in all the majority of books that I'm seeing now. So I think we're going in a really good direction. I think Antoine says something I agree with. I'll start singing the praises of Eric July when I see one reasonably well done comic book. I believe that, man. Like, you can have as many opinions and great ideas as you like, but until you actually get a book done, it doesn't matter. It's pretty rough, isn't it, Bancroft? It's pretty tough.
I think that's what most people think. Everyone's just waiting to see what he's actually doing. I think that's fair. I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. I have pretty high hope. I mean, I see nothing from him that looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, but I completely understand it. I'm definitely not married that I'm gonna be backing Eric July. I've never said that. I'll, like everyone else, I'll wait and see what it actually is first.
Yeah, I mean,
and make my judgments then. But I do believe whatever he does, he seems to be a very tenacious and charismatic person. Usually if you're very popular, that's guaranteed initial success, and you can kind of get by on that. So yeah, I'm quietly confident.
Yeah, I mean, from what he's been saying, I'm assuming that the art is going to be great. He's going to promote it probably as well, if not better than anyone. So unless the story is dog shit, you think it would do really well. So,
well, look, stories can be saved when things don't go off that well. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I think you're right. As long as it's not absolute garbage, and I just can't imagine how it could be.
Sumo says Eric is keeping such a tight rein on everything. I'm starting to lose a little enthusiasm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Lethal Diva says, I'm sure he's competent, but he's been very ambitious, trying to create entire world of heroes. Yep. Antoine, to be sure, July will get more interest than the average crowdfund guy, but can he write? We don't know. And like people say, like, the art will sell the book initially, but the story will keep people coming back. So that's going to be on him. I would like to think, maybe he's got a co-writer, or he's got an editor like Bancroft does with Joe, that can take, his great ideas and really fine tune them into a story that really gets people hooked. Lot riding on it for him. Ryan Johnson says shipping costs could be dropped a lot if we networked printers on all continents to print CG books locally for international customers, hopefully in the near future. I don't see how that works, Bancroft.
Printers, yeah, I don't see how we're going to network printers. Printers are only as good as they are their last print.
Yeah.
Ask Pete Samedi about that.
Yeah.
He's just laughing at all of us going through printer issues and stuff. Just like, you guys, this is just the beginning. You think once you found a printer that you like, wait until they screw you around. I mean, I think he's gone through absolutely everything that you can go through when it comes to printers. So I don't know if we can network that, but we definitely can network the distribution.
Yeah.
And the beginnings of that is happening, at least here in Australia. So you've got Hockey, who is offering as a service openly to everyone who's interested to lower shipping costs to Australia. I've done the same thing just to anyone who's asked, and have saved in one instance saved Patrick close to $1,000 on shipping. So the hope is that once that sort of option becomes better known, creators will be able to pass those savings on at the campaign level, because I haven't seen that yet. I have seen, actually, I lie, I have seen that. Von was able to offer reasonable Australian US to Australian shipping because I said to him, yes, when it comes to shipping, you can absolutely go through me. That's fine.
It does really piss me off though, Mike, when you see campaigns and the shipping is for like one book is like 25 US, and I go, you haven't even looked into it. You could be figuring out a way to make this cheaper on your backers, and for whatever reason, you're just not. That pisses me off.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it comes down to a little bit of the hunger as well. A lot of these guys have, they make very good money. So if they lose a dozen Australian customers, it's not a massive loss. But I wish it was different. I wish I could back guys like Nolan and Tucci and Lepresti, but I can't. I can't justify that, and I'm just hoping that one day eventually I will be able to. I mean, maybe I can grab their books and get them sent to someone that I can pick up when I go to the States for a trip or something. But
Crackhead says Ripper's got a huge audience, but they're not predominantly comic book fans. It's going to be a really interesting to see how he does simply from an analytical point of view.
People underestimate how much your previous campaign history matters. It really does. Like John Malin was able to make 260,000 in 60 days on Godlike because of what he'd done with Jawbreakers and Graveyard Shift. It's because of that. So he would have done really well anyway. No, but what I'm saying is he would have done really well anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If he was brand new, he would have done well. He wouldn't have made 260,000 if it was his first book. These things do build. If you would do it, like look at Pulido. That's his name, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Pulido.
Yep.
Yeah, you do it continuously, consistently. Yeah, you can build a really stable business off that. So yeah, even if Eric makes a certain amount on the first one, on the consecutive ones, if he continues with it, I could see it becoming really big as long as the story's there.
Just back to this printer thing. I've been thinking about it for a minute. I think the only way it would work is if you offered like a lower tier, right? Where the print quality isn't as professional. You can't guarantee the print quality because otherwise it's just going to be too inconsistent. I don't even know if you can make that work.
Are you talking to Antoine's question there? Well, I don't think you really properly explained it. He's saying if we get together, a bunch of us, and go to them. So instead of we're saying we're printing 1,000 books or less than 1,000 books individually, which printers are just going to get on the press whenever they can. And then it's not going to be the number one priority. Anyone who's worked with printers knows that. But if you go there with a bunch of guys, and now all of a sudden we're talking a $6,000 print run, 6,000 book print run, maybe. But what I do know about printers is they don't tend to look at jobs in the bulk like that unless it's all the same thing. That's my experience with them. Like if it's it's a lot of books being printed, but it's 5 or 6 different books. That's not the same thing as going to them with one book that you're printing 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 copies with. But having said that, if it all equals a whole shitload of money, maybe that would be enough to convince them to take us a bit more seriously. I don't know. I've never tried that. There is an issue there, though, from us not being taken seriously as people trying to get graphic novels made, collectible comics and stuff. And there's a lot of issues.
Mo Biggs, when Bancroft is at the airport preparing to leave the US, dragging a pallet full of books, and they ask if he has anything to declare. CG, bitches!
Don't go to England.
There's a question here from Junk66. What do you think of your boy doing $1 for Jawbreakers forever for 24 hours? I have an opinion. Do you have an opinion?
I haven't. Well, you tell me your opinion. I'll see if it.
I don't like it. I honestly would rather give away like for free, like a certain amount of the comic. It doesn't matter what it is to get people interested in it. I think charging $1 devalues it, even though.
Oh, I didn't think that far into it. I just think it's bonkers. Honestly.
Why?
I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's about. I mean, is it to get more people to back? Here's the thing. Is it because on Jawbreakers 1 he got 10,000 people backing? Is it because of that? And now he doesn't get that amount of people. I think there's a lot of reasons that we've all covered dozens of times over the last 4 years as to why Zach doesn't command those sorts of numbers anymore. But more than anything,
it would be so easy for him to get back to that, though.
That was a situation. That was a situation with comics, and that was the white hot heat of the big bang of Comicsgate. The only way for someone to get 10,000 backers on a book now in CG is not by making the books stupid cheap. I mean, there's cheap and then there's stupid cheap. There's like you're just giving things away for free now, weirdly. Is to build that over time by really investing in your IP and putting it out consistently and promoting the absolute hell out of it as far as wide as you can. Now, I don't necessarily think Zach has followed that, but yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what the justification is for it. Maybe I just haven't listened to enough of his videos lately to know what the justification is for the $1 comic thing. But yeah, as a creator, it sounds bonkers to me. I'm like, I don't know how we can even do that. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. But I wish him luck. I hope it works out for him and proves me wrong.
I think I'd rather give away, like, let's say Replicator 1, for example, for free digitally to as many people as I can get to see it, to see if I can hook some of those people in to actually buy the actual comic, rather than trying to sell Replicator 1 for $1, like the physical copy. I think I'd rather do it that way. I don't know.
Well, remember, Zach was Zach convinced me to pay $25 for a comic. I'd never done that before. So the reason I did it is because it actually made sense. It was like, yeah, this is a limited edition. There'll only be, even if it was 10,000 printed, even if it was 20,000 printed, that's still limited. And it's indie. We don't have these big corporations behind us. When you consider paying for printing and production, all the art and stuff, it doesn't actually leave a huge amount of profit for the creator at the scales that we're talking.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So to kind of flip that on its head and go $1, I don't get it. Again, wishing all the best, but yeah, I don't understand it. It doesn't entice me to buy it. If I wanted to buy it, I would buy it at 25. But I do understand there are a lot of other people out there who are like, that's ridiculous. Who would ever spend $25 on a comic? I get that. But are those people going to come and back Jawbreakers? That remains to be seen, I think.
It seems crazy, though, because, like, Zach could come and hang out and do streams and do, the promoting stuff, and he would kill it. Like, Zach and Ethan streaming together, talking about SJWs and mainstream blowing up, that would be massive. But they don't. He doesn't.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, people will run their business the way they see fit, and I'll give my opinion on what I think is right and wrong. But look, I would love to see it. That's what got me into CG. He was doing that for a little while. He seemed like he was coming back. But that, I mean, even now, that seems like ancient history. I don't know.
Old Dirty Face says, "What about cheap ash cans to get eyes on your work?" That's a thing, man. There aren't cheap ash cans. I don't think. Like,
Well, no, I mean you can make them and you can
print-wise.
sell them cheaply. You're going to lose money on it, but a lot of people
Yeah.
do that anyway. I mean that's what they have to do to get people to you know, be interested in their stuff, and I understand that.
Yeah, Zach wants to do things his way. It just seems like
Yeah, and
the non-optimal way to do things. But you
well,
know,
maybe
do
we're all
whatever he
maybe
wants.
we're just all short-sighted, and he sees something that we don't see, and maybe he will get 10,000 backers, and I'll be proved wrong. But then, even if he does get 10,000 backers, if it's at $1 a piece, I don't know how he's going to get how he's going to pay for it all. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
It's funny because like you could go do this, and this, and if he did it, he'd be killing it. But he wants to do it his way, you know. And he did an
Hang on,
amazing
can we get
job.
to Antoine's point above that?
Yep.
Who says, yeah, I get why the books are being sold at collectible prices, but that's precisely why the books will have difficulty expanding the readership. I agree with that 100%. I said that earlier. But I think this is what we need to do in this initial phase. I just don't see... I'm trying to get these things made, created. And the only way I can do that in the shortest time possible, the only way I can do that is if I'm making money doing it. And... you know, so I can pay for things and I can justify it to myself and my family to spend all this time on it, and you know, away from work and all that kind of stuff, away from them even, for you know, a number of hours a day. So yeah, phase 1, let's get these things made. Phase 2, sometime down the line, let's get them out and available to to more people. And I get, it's I think that's what he's going for. It's a lost leader, he says in another comment. It's a lost leader, but I just don't understand how he can actually then make them. That's all I'm saying. Like I just don't get it, because like,
So
even $10, I don't understand how you would actually be able to make the book, is what I'm saying.
what's the future, Bancroft? So like, let's say we're trying to expand into the next market. Is it, you know, do we do smaller floppies on newsprint paper at a really cheap price to get people in? Like, do we cut our books up? Like, so Lucent, you cut it up into two, you know, however many page books it is on newsprint, sell it that way? Or do you collect it all into a hardcover omnibus type thing and sell it that way? Or both, or something else?
Oh, it's either or. I mean, Clint's doing well with Downcast by chopping it up, but not everyone has a story that you can so easily chop up. I started mine off as a webtoon, so it's already on a back foot chopping it up into longer graphic novels. I never really wrote it that way. Whereas other people, they are writing their books, even their longer 48 or longer books, in sort of short floppy sized chunks, so that they can do that down the line. I think whatever works for any person. I mean, so what works for you might work for someone else. But yes, we should be, what we're doing is working towards a time when we can sell our pre-existing stuff at an affordable price to the most possible people that we can reach, whether that's on Amazon or in bookstores or wherever. Like, you've got all yours in floppies already, so you're fine.
Yeah. Joe Ball, Death, 490 backers, so close to 40k. It's like 300 pages or something crazy like that.
Oh, it's not. I mean, when you see what it's not just like 300 pages. I don't know if you saw that double page spread he's doing. It's taking drawing autism to a whole new level.
He likes detail.
I respect it. I really do respect it. I understand it. But I mean, people say my art is detailed. nothing like Joe Balls, and not even in the same universe. Mo Biggs has got to head to bed. How Mo Biggs? This is like, he's been with us a long time today. I just want to give him a big thank you for hanging out.
We're at 2 hours, Bancroft. You want to wrap up?
Oh, are we? Okay, well, let's end it there then. I love this from Antoine. Drawtism. Oh, that is fantastic. I'm using that. Yeah, that's it. Drawtism.
Go sub to
Love
my
it.
channel, people. If you haven't already, go sub to my channel.
Do sub to Rob's channel. Despite the
links in the
rumors,
description, right, Mike?
it is in the description. Always, Rob. Always
There you
have your
go.
link in there. Yours,
you.
Camel's, and Joe's is permanently in my description.
Well, I mean, do you need Camels anymore? I mean, since he's bailed on us.
I stream with you, and I stream with Camel every week. I don't know. Joe Ball's in the chat. Yeah, well, he's the one who showed off, isn't he? Yeah, I'm being an idiot. Yeah, dude, it's looking crazy. Actually, Mel asked me the other day because I was showing her your double pager, and she said, "Isn't he coloring that?" And I said, "I think he is." And she said, "How? How on earth?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know." James says, "What the hell am I supposed to do alone in my thoughts now?" Bit of reflection.
Go yell at some kids outside.
Don't do that. That's sort of more of a Rob thing. But this was an interesting show. We don't normally get so spicy with our draw streams.
No, that usually happens on Thursday on our show, Mike.
Yeah. But today was a special occasion. I just felt like it would be weird if we were like, well, we don't normally talk about this stuff on the draw stream, so I know you all want to talk about it, but let's talk about Painted Death, which I do like talking about. Go sign up for Painted Death.
Yeah, bring up the campaign page
awesome.
while we're here. Might as well have a quick look. And we should have a
Campaign
look
page
at
or the sign up page?
a sign up page. We should also have a look at the stickers versus bookmarks campaign that's coming up too.
Is there anything out for that yet?
There's a sign up
crap.
page.
I've got 750 emails collected. Thank you, everyone. That is awesome.
Very nice. 490 backers, 10 more. He's only 1 away, Bancroft, from being 9 away from 500. Isn't that amazing?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
What?
No, I'm just saying these. Let's wrap this all up in a big bow. The bitter ex-girlfriends of Comicsgate who were out there saying the whole thing's dead. I mean, Vicky said the other day, CG's on its last legs,
mate.
It's got a few months in it left. Because look at this, and she'll cherry pick at some numbers and say this is it. Joe Ball has got 490 backers, and he's gonna get more on the precipice of 40,000 US for this. What it looks like a friggin' masterpiece. I don't know how to describe this thing.
Yeah,
some people are on the up and up. Some people are on a downward slope. That's meritocracy at work. That's the Pareto principle at work. That's the cream rising to the top, and that's what CG is. At least that's what I think it should be. That's what we should be striving for. And this is it on clear display. It's this right here.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes. Painted Death. We still got 100 people in here. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight. We are going to end the stream, but before I do, while I've got you,
I want to bring up Crackhead's thing too.
All right.
Crackhead and Snuggie.
Painted Death graphic novel. It's what can I say about it? It's going to be a blinder. It's going to be a cracker.
It's going to go off like awesome. A frog in a sock.
All those things. And
can I ask a question for your Americans? When someone asks you to do an American accent, do you put on more of an American accent? Because whenever someone asks me to do an Australian accent, I always put on like
yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, back Painted Death. It's going to be an absolute corker. You might but yeah, thank you. 750 signups. That's crazy. I've got to get out of my bubble to get that up to 1,000. I want to get up to 1,000 before we go live. But that means I'm gonna have to get out onto the bigger guys' streams and shill myself. But I've got covers to make. I've got a new trailer to make. I want to get those pages done.
Where's my intro?
They're gonna be on the campaign. Your intro.
You said you had an
intro. Yes. Yeah, I'll do that as well. Damn it. What are you sharing?
So Crackhead, Snuggie, I don't know who else is involved, but they're doing a bookmark versus stickers campaign, and they happen to have a Ken Roquefort bookmark right off the bat. How ridiculous is that?
Mine will not be that good.
Neither will mine.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Neither will mine.
I'm sorry. I'll do my best, but it won't look like that. All right.
No, that's great though. You can sign up for it. Teambookmark.com.
I didn't realize they had a sign up page. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know this was happening.
You need to make it look prettier for them, Mike. I told them that.
They're not going through Indiegogo. They're doing their own thing.
I think they're doing Spotify. You guys doing Spotify?
Spotify. You can't launch anything on Spotify.
Shopify. Just Mike. Whenever I say Spotify, you know I mean Shopify. Don't be a dick.
All right. Yeah. I got to think about a good concept to make into a bookmark. I know, Beowulf. I am. Okay, I won't touch it. But that's good. I like that. I like they're doing it on Shopify. Let's see some more people do it. I really want to. I have high hopes for this. I am really considering, making my own site and doing some sort of. I don't know what it would be. Auxiliary campaign.
It's just fun. This is like why one of the reasons I like CG. I mean, maybe this is an outstanding success. Maybe it's not, but at least they're trying it, and it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Number one rule, Mike. What is it?
It's the golden rule. Just have
golden
fun.
Rule. Just have fun.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you. So Rob is such a mong at times.
I'm just going to leave that up there.
That's true. 2 streams for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been interesting. It's been a blast. I got a little bit of drawing done, which is always good.
You did well.
I did something. Which is, it's difficult. For anyone who knows me knows it's difficult for me to draw and talk at the same time. I'm about 85% finished on my visions piece.
You can show me.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't show anyone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But just believe me, it's coming. It's getting there. It'll be cool. Other than that, hope you have a good one. I will see you in a couple of days for the my stream in a few days' time, and then we've also got the video games and also other good stuff, and Rob's show over on his channel. So, yeah. Hope you had a great night, and I will see you all next time. All right.
See you
guys. Bye.
This country, you gotta make the money first. Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman. That's why you gotta make your own moves.